We're days away now from the president being 2 years in office, and there have been no completed trade deals. Why not?
So a couple of things here. So when the president was running, he made clear that we will invest in American workers and communities before pursuing new trade deals. And this is exactly what we've been doing. You've seen it for years. More than 750,000 manufacturing jobs were created right here under this president. At the same time, we're working.
Most of the jobs added.
Well, we go back and forth on this, Ed. I hear you. I'm 750,000 jobs. Let me finish your answer. You asked me a question, but at the same time, we are working swiftly to finalize the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, which represent 40% of the world GDP in the 2 strongest years of job creation in our history. There are reasons for economic optimism all over the country. Today's new data is the latest confirmation that President Biden's economic plan is indeed working.
The debt ceiling is supposed to reach its ceiling on Thursday. How do you see this debt ceiling fight playing out? What's your strategy for getting an agreement?
So look, we have been very clear on this, and I said it at the top, I said it on Friday, and I'll say it today, so has the president. This should not be political brinksmanship. We should be dealing with the debt ceiling without conditions. It is important. We're not going to work our way around this. We're not going to negotiate on this. This is the basic duties of Congress, is to deal with this issue.
Is the president going to sit down with Republicans and talk about this?
Again, this is something that should be done without conditions. We have been very, very clear about that. We are not going to be negotiating over the debt ceiling.
Press secretary saying it was raised 3 times under President Trump. Heck, it was raised 78 times since 1960. Isn't it a debt ceiling for a reason?
Absolutely. Listen, I fully anticipate that we're going to go ahead and get this done. But let's be clear. There are going to have to be negotiations around the debt ceiling. In our conference right now, whether you're on the more moderate side or the more conservative side of our caucus, every Republican member understands that spending reforms are needed. We have been recklessly spending the people's money.
It was reported that Republicans have so-called plan to prioritize payments if Congress fails to address the debt ceiling. So I want to be very, very clear here, as I have been, as the president has been. This is not a plan. It is a recipe for economic catastrophe. As President Biden has made clear, Congress must deal with the debt limit and must do so without conditions. But congressional Republicans are threatening to hold the nation's full faith and credit, a mandate of the Constitution, hostage to their demand.
The White House has no intention of sitting down with Leader McCarthy on the debt ceiling in the coming month or at all.
What we're saying here is that we've been very, very clear. It was clear at the top. It was clear when I was just asked this question. Congress is going to need to address the debt without conditions, and it's just that simple. There should be no hostage taking here. There should be no attempts to exploit the debt ceiling or to leverage it. We're going to be very, very clear about that.
Accurately report that the White House isn't doing any outreach to Republicans at this time.
Well, I said just moments ago, one of the things that we did, and I laid this out pretty clearly when the new Congress started, we reached out to Republicans and Democrats alike. What I am saying is that we have been very clear that this should be done. When we're talking about the debt ceiling, it should be done without conditions, and it should not be used as a political football.